Interpreting information to answer questions. On your GED Science test, you will see questions with text and a diagram or chart. To answer these questions, you don't have to understand all the difficult ideas. You just need to interpret the information given. To interpret means to make sense of something by using your reasoning skills. We'll practice doing this with a question about Newton's laws of motion. You already know that Isaac Newton's 3 laws of motion tell us the 3 ways that things move or do not move. Newton's first law of motion: an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted on by an unbalanced force. An object in motion will continue with constant speed and direction unless acted on by unbalanced force. Newton's second law of motion: the acceleration of an object depends on the mass of the object and the amount of force applied. Newton's third law of motion: for every action force, there is a reaction force equal in strength and opposite in direction. Let's practice an example using this GED question. Newton's second law of motion states that the acceleration of an object is dependent on the object's mass and the amount of force applied to the object. The table shows data from an investigation of Newton's second law. Which statement describes the pattern established in the data included in the chart? A. Doubling the net force increases acceleration 4 times when the object's mass is constant. B. Doubling the net force decreases acceleration 2 times when the object's mass is constant. C. Doubling the mass decreases the acceleration of the object by half when the net force is constant. D. Doubling the mass increases the acceleration of the object 2 times when the net force is constant. Let's look at the text and chart and interpret the information. In science, acceleration means any change in speed or direction. The text says acceleration depends on force and mass. The table shows that is true. When the amount of force or mass changes, so does the acceleration. We can see the pattern in the data. The question is asking us which statement describes that pattern. We can find it by testing the statements one at a time. A says that doubling the net force increases acceleration 4 times when mass is constant, stays the same. This is false. The table shows us that when the net force doubles and the mass stays the same, the acceleration does not increase by 4 times. B says that doubling the net force decreases acceleration 2 times when mass is constant. This is false too. Acceleration actually increases when you double the net force. C says that doubling the mass decreases acceleration of an object by half when net force is constant. Let's check to see if it's true. The table shows that when the mass is doubled from 2 to 4 and the net force stays constant, the acceleration decreases by half. This answer is correct. We'll still test statement D to make sure that C is the best answer. D says that doubling the mass increases acceleration of the object by 2 times when net force is constant. This is false. When the mass doubles and the net force stays the same, the acceleration decreases. C is the best answer. To answer this question, we interpreted the information. We read the text, looked at the table, read the headings, noticed the variables, and found a pattern. Practice interpreting information in text, tables, and diagrams. Knowing how to do this will help you on your GED Science exam. Happy studying!